Hello, welcome back. Who would have thought that children will be a topic and a serious thing like the Ielts? But the reality is, it will be one of the topics that you would have to speak about and write about. But there's one problem, is that we don't have kids. I don't have kids. Oh, that's me, by the way. But anyway, despite the fact that we may or may not have a lot of children around us, we have to be very observant to know what to do and to speak about them. So, I'm now at the Ielts studio for the 9th episode, and I'm ready. Are you ready to meet the person, the mother is going to help you with children? Guys, welcome to the studio, and in the studio with me today is no other than the amazing, the fabulous person that you might have seen on VTV7 in the show called Đẹp hơn mỗi ngày, or Look Better Each Day. Well, let's welcome Miss Tule. Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you too.
So, today's topic is actually on children, and I know you have 2 children of your own. How is it like raising 2 kids and having a multitude of jobs that you already do?
For sure, having two children and also working as a businesswoman, if you think about it, it's really difficult. But in other hands, if you kind of learn a skill to think about it, like, no, it's the things you just, it's natural things to do.
How are your 2 children? When you look at them, what do you think of them?
Well, of course, every time I look at them, I'm like, yeah, they're adorable because they are mine. But they're really playful, and sometimes they could be really annoying. They're trying the whole time to get attention from you, and all the time they want you to play with them. They don't want you to be in the kitchen to cook or working, especially working. They love you to play with them the whole time.
Yeah, so they don't even want you to do the things that essentially will feed them and make them comfortable and give them a good life.
Yeah, anything, like anything.
Right now, if you have something to say to your kids, to the camera, what will you tell them?
Yeah, I will tell my kids, I love you, what matters it is. Where I am or what I'm doing, the whole time I'm just thinking about you, and yeah, that's all.
I think what you said really taps on to something that's really important for people that don't have children and have to take the Ielts and talk about children, is, a lot of us, we just think about children as describing them, how they look like, what they do. But a lot of the things about children is really what surrounds it. How the parents have to deal with them, like you.
Yeah.
And then, how our feelings towards children are. So there are a multitude of things that we can actually talk about when it comes to children itself. Are you a children's lover ever since you were young?
No. When I was younger, I've even said to my mom, hey, I would never get married. I never thought of children, never thought of marrying someone. Life at that time was being, having fun, was able to do what you like. The children were never popped in my head in those days.
But then now you have.
Yeah, but when you heard people saying like, my child, it's the most magical thing that happened to me. It sounds really cliche, but actually when it happened to me, I could say it's true.
And now you're so connected to children. You have 2 of your own, and you also have children's fashion lines. And you're consulting, you're giving counseling to basically parents, mothers who have children on how to dress. Tell us a little bit more.
Everything that happened to me at the moment that I really didn't expect. Since I was a kid, I was always, making crafts and making postcards to sell to the shop. Then after that, I went abroad to study. Everything that I did was all about traditional soul. Actually, it wasn't my concept, but it came naturally. So there was one quote that I really loved. She said, the creative adult is the child who has survived. That's really touched me. After that, of course, I got married by the man who I really love. Then, of course, when you have children, you're thinking about like trying to do something that, together when you can have your work at the same time and take care of your children. And then there you will have a lot of time to take care of them.
Talking to you before this session, you did mention something that's really important, and it's the ability to compartmentalize, especially when it comes to your kids, right?
Yeah.
So what is this ability to compartmentalize?
To me, it's a skill that you need to learn. It's like multitasking, yeah, you're saying. So basically you go to work, you get up at 6 o'clock, you have to bring your kids to their school, go to work, work till 4 or 5 o'clock, and then go back again, take them from the school, and then go back home, and then cooking, and bring them to bed, reading, and after that, for me, it's from about 11 o'clock p.m., it's my time to do my things. It's really difficult, or it's a hard time if you not get used to it. So my experience is, I also try to read books as well, and they say you have to try to learn it as a skill. Okay, raising the kids, it's quite normal, quite natural. Working is a natural thing as well. So you have to learn kind of separate things in your head. It's like you have a switch. So it's a time you go to work, you have to focus 100%. So just switch things off about children. But of course, you always have to kind of like look at your phone if there's any urgent call from school. Right. But when you go home with the kids, it's really important, and the most important thing is your attitude to your kids. You cannot go home and bring the works in your head and talk with the children. It doesn't work.
Right.
You could go to work and think about your children, but when you go home, you have to just like stop thinking about your work and be their mom, smiling, and talk to them and understand how their days are like.
Right.
Yeah.
And concentrate completely on the children.
Yeah, exactly.
Because after all, children are people that need to be nurtured, but that doesn't mean that they are people who don't know anything, right? They're very sensitive.
They know, of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So talking about compartmentalizing, we actually have compartmentalized some games on the show, and we would love for you to be able to experience it with us. We call it the Ielts Marathon. Would you like to take part, and are you ready for it?
Sure.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Okay.
This is the Ielts Marathon. With the first challenge, you have to look for 3 items: the passports, the key, the confirmation letter. After that, you have to be ready for a perfect photo shoot. Then perfect fingerprints. Moving on, series of challenges will be ready for you at the monitor. And the last and surely the hardest one, you will have to hide away from the spotlights, collecting 6 characters, then form a word. The Ielts Marathon is ready right now.
This is the Ielts Marathon Challenge stage, and we are here with no other than Miss Dule. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
A lot.
But I think you'll do great because a lot of these skills you already have in your daily life. All right, so I'm going to leave you here and I'm going to be right there.
Okay.
All right, see you soon. First up, guys, is the Devil Space. Devil Space is the place where you're going to have a lot of mess to go through and to find the 3 key ingredients to the IELTS exam: your passport, your registration letter, as well as the keys. So are you ready?
Yes.
First of all, you have to close your eyes. All right, you may now open your eyes to your mess. Okay. Start looking for the keys.
Okay. So now it will be only the key.
Everything, all the
Everything,
three. The key,
okay.
the passport, as well as the information
Are you
letter.
sure they're in here? Oh, there are a lot of money in here.
There's a lot of money in there. We're testing your sincerity.
Okay, then they're not in the backpack. It looks like those could be in the backpack, but probably not.
Ooh, that backpack looks pretty.
Oh, here, this is passport.
Ooh,
Okay.
one item is found. One item is found, absolutely. Now we'll see how long it takes for her to find the other two items. Passport is found. Now she's looking at the bear's pants to see if there are keys inside.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, you got one more thing.
Letter, right?
Yes.
Could not be in here, right? Oh yeah. Oh.
There we go.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. All right,
Okay,
you got all
cool.
3 items. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And next
You're
up
welcome.
is the photo shoot challenge.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead. You know the rules.
So let me see.
Make sure the camera's on.
I should turn it on, right?
You should turn it on, and the timer must be there.
How to turn it on? Here, okay. Oh, it's on, but I want to see it
All
first
right, and then now you got to turn on the
before I'll
timer.
take a photo.
Let's see if she got the shot this time. Check it out and see what it is. Did you press play? See guys, technology isn't always that easy. You just need to
no,
press
sorry.
play
That's
and
the
then
wrong button.
you'll be able to see the
Which
picture.
one? How can I do this thing?
All right,
This
I'm
is
going to go down and
actually-
help.
It's recording as a video, not a photo.
There we
Oh,
go.
cool. Is it good enough?
It is good
Oh,
enough.
cool.
All right.
I'm done. Okay.
You're off to the next challenge, the fingerprint challenge. Perfect. A little bit of camera work needed, but the picture was perfect. Perfect. Now clean your hands. And we're off to the next challenge, but don't forget your headphones.
Okay.
Pick the
This
right
one,
one
right?
and wear it the right side. You gotta flip it around. Perfect. All right, you're off to the next challenge. Have a seat, please. Are you ready for the headphone challenge?
Yes, I am.
Starting off the headphone challenge. Can we please have the vocals, please?
You will hear a guide giving a tour of a park. Well, here we are at the top of the tower. And we're going to look at the view from each direction. Out to the east, the large buildings about 1 kilometre away are on the Olympic site. There's an indoor arena for gymnastics, a stadium for track and field, and a swimming pool for races and synchronised swimming, and also diving. If you look carefully down there, you can see the train lines. The Olympic site has its own station to encourage the use of public transport. There is also a car park, but it only holds a limited number of cars. The formal park has some specially created water features. If you look out here to the south, you can see a circular ornamental pond. And around to the west, you can relax and sit on a bench to smell the flowers in the rose garden. And finally, up to the north, if you look in front of you now, there's a lake with a small island in the centre. You can hire rowing boats at the boat shed, which you can't see from here. But if you look through the trees, you can see the cafe, which has lovely views across the water. Okay, let's climb down now. We will go now and have a look at the nature reserve section of the park, which has opened up natural wetland to the public.
1 car park, 5.
Is 1 the car park?
Okay.
Absolutely correct. Gotta find the mistakes.
7 is wrong.
7 is wrong. Is that correct? Absolutely. You have to do this reading section and answer the question.
Three, true?
3 is true. Is this correct? Absolutely. All right, now it's the paraphrase challenge where you will have to find synonyms for the underlined words.
3 minutes pass. Money, currency.
Money's currency.
Profession's career.
Profession's career. Is this correct?
It is not reasonable, unfair, not reasonable.
Unfair. You're on to the next round, which is the final round for this time, which is the pronunciation challenge. Please read.
Ask your friend to bring these things from the store: 6 boxes of fresh milk, 1 kilogram of potatoes. We also need a plastic snake and a big doll for the kids. We will meet on Wednesday at the train station. See you all, and don't forget to bring them.
Voice recognition. Are you satisfied with this answer? You are passed. All right, you're done with 7 challenges and you have 1 more. And it is basically going to be very interesting. So are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, but what is it?
It is called the sneak of shame, where you will be basically scrambling around to find some letters and put them together into a word. All right?
Okay.
Okay, we'll be right back with Sneak of Shame. This is the final destination of the Marathon Challenge, and it is called the Sneak of Shame, because here you will sneak around the shadows and the light and find the letters and bring it back and create one whole wholesome word. All right? Are you ready? Now your hand is allowed in the shadow, but not your body. And each time you make a mistake, you gotta come back and redo.
All right.
All right, ready, get set, go.
Am I in the shadow now? No, okay, not counts, right?
Not counted. sometimes the best way is to crouch down so that your shadow does not fall far. It really goes back to you being a kid. Ooh. It's not easy, huh? All right, we got the first letter.
Oh, I'm in there.
I
have to go back.
Yes. All right.
But
Yes, you have the
Okay.
letter. All right, you can continue again.
oh no, yeah.
Your body can be in the light, just not your shadow.
Okay.
So literally, you can actually
Oh
step on
no,
someone.
again.
Instead of left.
Oh no.
Oh, you're it. You gotta go back.
Oh.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
It is not easy. All right.
It's really difficult.
Sometimes you might want to go to this side of the
Yeah.
stage. That might be better. Good job, good job. The bubble's gone. It's your chance to get the R. All right, it's
okay.
your chance to get another one. The bubble's coming back, so be careful. One more,
So
one
tired.
last one. One last one. The bubble actually wants to help you. Be careful. Okay, you got it. You got it. Woohoo! High five. You did good.
I'm really tired. Okay.
All right, so what word is this? So we have
An S.
an S. We have an R. We have a T. We have two T's.
I'm so tired. Okay, let's see.
All right, here, let me hold it up for you.
Oh, okay.
Let me hold it up for you. All right, so we have this. S-R-T.
Is it thirsty?
Is it thirsty? I wonder. You need a Y for thirsty.
Yeah.
You need a
So
Y
it's
for
not.
thirsty.
T-shirt.
It's a t-shirt. All right, that is so good. And thank you. How did you feel about the challenge this time?
Yeah, this one was the most difficult. I'm 35 years old, but I didn't do a lot of exercises, so it was really difficult for me.
But I'm glad that you went through all the way with the game and you nailed the game. I'm so glad to have you in the studio, and so thank you so much for sharing with us all your children's stories and
My
how
pleasure.
you do them. Thank you. All right, guys, that's it for Miss Dule today, and make sure to check out her show every week on BTV7. It is called
Đẹp hơn mỗi ngày.
Đẹp hơn mỗi ngày, or Look Better Each Day. And of course, the next section on Ielts is the Idioms of the Week section. We know you're going to love it, so don't go anywhere.
Idiom of this week. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you get rid of useful things when discarding inessential things, you throw the baby out with the bathwater. For example, I know you don't approve of that one item in the bill, but we shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater by voting the bill down. We know you are excited for the next part of Ielts, since we'll bring supermodel Tiêu Ngọc Linh back to the Start to IELTS section. Hey Linh, hope you will rock it. And in the studio, our IELTS expert Dan Ruel will be ready to provide you all the good tips needed for the IELTS test. You can miss a second of the show. Stay glued to the screen for the next part of Time IELTS now.
Guys, welcome back to the Time IELTS studio. And of course, it's your favorite section. It is the IELTS expert section. And of course, the role of the IELTS expert is to basically give you the insider tips into IELTS studying and IELTS judging, as well as the insider information into IELTS examiners' brains, what's going inside their head when you're speaking to them. So let's welcome once again Dan Ruel to our studio.
Hello, thank you very much for having me back.
Hey Dan, how does it feel being back on the show?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be here. It's always great to be here.
It's awesome. All right, let's take a look at our celebrity IELTS test this time.
Sure.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon. What's your name, please?
My name is Tiêu of Linh.
And may I see your identification, please?
Here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you enjoy traveling?
Yeah, I love traveling. Last year I visited 6 foreign countries, and yeah, it really memorable experience for me.
What countries did you visit?
I visited Italy, China, Korea, Australia, Malaysia, and Thailand.
And what was your favorite country?
My favorite country is Australia. Right from when I was a student at high school, I always dream of traveling to Australia to study, and now I'm trying to get a scholarship to study master in Australia.
Next, I will give you a topic card. You will have to talk about the topic on the card for between 1 and 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You may take some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
You start now.
Okay.
Can you start talking now, please?
Okay. Well, I love children because of their naivety, their endless curiosity, and sometimes because of their naughtiness. But well, the child I'm gonna tell you is very different from the others. She's the second daughter of a new friend of mine, and her mother is a single mom. The child's name is Mingzi. She has a unique look. If you look into her, you may feel like me. It makes me feel like she doesn't come from this world, like an angel. And she loves wearing princess dresses, and this enhances her gorgeous appearance. But the most beautiful thing of her, and what makes me impressed by her at the first sight, was her eyes. Her eyes are sad, but if you look into her eyes, you can feel, oh, why so sophisticated thing in such children's soul, and you want to discover the thing inside. But also, looking into her eyes make me feel peaceful and warm. That's why I love her so much, and I wanted to meet her many times.
Okay, thank you. Okay. How important do you think spending time together is for the relationship between parents and their children?
I think it's very important for children and parents to spend time together, because it helps enhance the love between members in the family, and also help
their parents to teach their children outside the town they study at school.
Have relationships between parents and children changed in recent years?
In recent years, there is so many changes in the relationships between the parents and children. The children are more independent from their parents. First one, because their parents are too busy. And in regard of the children, they are busy also. They have to attend too many classes after school, too many extra activities. And I think the third reason for this trend is that both parents and children nowadays pay more attention to technological things like smartphone, TV, or personal laptop other than their family members.
Okay, thank you. That's the end of the test.
I'll give you a piece of information, actually. Tiêu Ngọc Linh, she's not just a model. She's also the top scorer for the University of Foreign Trade, coming into the university.
Wow.
Yeah, so very, very intelligent girl over there. So yeah, what did you like about her performance?
I thought she's able to really explain her answers. All of her answers were quite long. And for part 2, I think she spoke for the full 2 minutes. And she's really able to explain clearly why she thinks what she thinks.
Yes, so what did you think was one of the strongest points of her performance just now?
I think probably her ability to keep going,
Yes.
which is part of fluency and coherence, and also her grammar. I thought her grammar is quite accurate, and she really tries to use more complex sentences.
Now, Dan, do you have children of your own?
I do. I have 2 sons.
You do have 2 sons.
Yeah.
So as a parent, how would you describe your children? Give a couple of characteristics you would describe children.
Well, obviously I'm a bit biased. I think my sons are the most handsome sons in the world. But I might say, for example, my sons are the apple of my eye. So apple of my eye means they're very beautiful to me. Another apple idiom, you might say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Which means your children are very similar to their parents.
To the parents.
Yeah. So for example, if my son looks a lot like me, or if my son has the same personality, I might say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Fall from the tree. So you're the tree, and you should name your sons Apple.
They're the apples.
Apple 1, Apple 2. So when it comes to speaking about children in a speaking test or in a writing test, what were some of the points that candidates tend to lack?
I think people often describe appearance, and Ling was an example where she described the appearance of these children.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a lot to talk about for their personality. So it's very easy to describe what a child looks like, but if you really want to extend your answer, you might talk about their personality, any characteristics, to make it a little bit more detailed.
Absolutely. All right, so let's take a look at how she thinks she performed,
Sure.
shall we? Okay, Ling, how do you think you did on that test?
Well, my second time with the test, but I'm not satisfied with my test
Okay, Ling, why weren't you satisfied with your performance?
because I think the first one was better, and the second one I didn't have enough time to prepare for the question because the topic is not familiar as the first one.
How many points do you think you have?
Maybe 5.5.
All right, Dan, do you think she gave herself a little bit too low of a score?
I think our celebrity guests are very hard on themselves.
Yes.
They often give very low scores.
Yes.
I think she'd be higher than what she thought. I think her strengths are probably in her grammar, and a lot of her pronunciation I thought was very clear. The things that she could improve most, certainly her fluency.
Yeah.
She tends to be very slow.
Yes.
And she often pauses in the middle of her sentences. And I think it's because she's trying to speak with perfect grammar. That's the impression I get, is she's really thinking hard about her grammar, but as a result, that's slowing her down, and she's having to stop and think quite a lot. So although it's helping her in her grammar, I think it's really hurting her fluency.
So how can she really improve on that, do you think?
I think worry less about making mistakes, because the IELTS exam, it's not a test of how many mistakes you make. So it's perfectly okay if you make some small mistakes, but if you worry too much about being perfect, I think it really hurts your fluency like Ling.
I see. So I guess it's the whole package, right?
Exactly.
It's really how the examiner feels of about the whole package.
Exactly.
I see. So, were you surprised that she was able to perform to that level? You know, after all, she is a model, and models a lot of times they're really, really busy doing what they're doing, and she's still in school as well.
Really? Wow.
So she's juggling many things.
Yeah.
For a person who is so busy,
Yeah.
how do you think they can balance, you know, the studying for the IELTS?
I mean, in one way, they're very lucky because they have a lot of experience to talk about.
Yes.
And I think she's a good example. I mean, for all of these questions, like traveling, she's been to lots of different countries. When she talked about a child, she has a friend who's a single mom.
Yeah.
So I think being busy and doing lots of these different things can really help you. But it's at the same time, it's very difficult to practice,
Yes.
especially in a country where English is not the language. So I think it's important to spend, even if it's 2 minutes a day, just doing a part 2 in the shower by yourself, or even if it's just a few minutes to revise some idioms. I think it doesn't have to take hours and hours. It could be 5-10 minutes a day.
All right, guys, you know, we are on to the next section. It is called the tips, and tips section, one of your favorite sections, of course. And for this time, we're going to go deep into the writing task number 1. And what is this task? We're going to find out, and we're going to find out some of the tips to tackle this task, okay? Okay, Dan, for the task number 1, what is it and how should we tackle it?
So task 1, the idea is that you can look at some complicated information and you can simplify it, you can summarize. So your job is to understand what this picture shows and to summarize for the reader.
And what is the structure of task number 1?
There are 3 different types of tasks.
Yes.
So the most common one is some kind of a graph. So you might get a pie chart or a table or some kind of a graph. The other type is a process where there's a diagram showing how something works and you need to summarize that. And the third one is a map, or very often 2 maps, where you need to describe what changed in these maps.
Yes.
But the task is the same for all 3. First, you need to introduce what's the graph about. Then you need to have an overview, which is a very short summary, 1-sentence summary. And the rest of your essay would be just simplifying and summarizing the graph.
So very simple, it's very structural, right?
Yeah, it's quite short. It's only 150 words.
Absolutely, absolutely. So guys, don't be scared of the writing task number 1. And right now I'm calling out to you, to Anh. If you're there, we're going on to the next section, which is basically the Voice of the Week section. And you've been featured this week. So to Anh, stay tuned to the screen and check out your video.
Hello everyone, my name is Anh. Today I'm going to talk about children. I love children very much, and I think they are all very innocent. They are very pure and naive. My niece is such a girl. She is only 3 years old, and I believe she is the most adorable girl that I have ever known. She, even though she is only 3 years old, but she really knows how to act and talk like a real grown-up. She loves hanging around, going out with her parents during the weekend, and of course her parents always try their best to bring her out every weekend, maybe having some coffee or shopping around. And my niece really get used to that lifestyle. So sometimes when her parents too busy, or maybe they have no time to go out and they couldn't bring her out like other weekend, she will really get upset and she will try to make it happen. Usually she always try to pleasant her mom by saying something like, "Mommy, you are very pretty," or "Mommy, today you look so beautiful," and something like, "Mommy, you are the most beautiful woman in the world." Yes, and every time she says something like that, we are all very, we all laugh, and we are quite surprised with her flattering skills. And of course, her mom was completely convinced, and tried to, and she did bring her out as her wish. Yes, honestly, I feel very proud of my niece, and I believe that you all will love her as much as I do if you have a chance to meet her. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Woohoo! Thank you, Anh. Okay, let's see what our IELTS expert has to say about your performance, okay? Dan, what do you think about that performance?
Well, she's a very natural speaker. It's clear that she's been watching a lot of movies and TV shows
Yes.
because her accent and even her body language, which is not marked in IELTS, but I think it can help you feel confident. Really natural speaker.
One thing I do realize, though, is that I do see a hint of nervousness in the performance. How do we tackle this nervousness on the test day?
I think being aware of what happens in the IELTS exam before you take it can help. So there's lots of videos, DVDs, etc. in some of the books which show you what really happens in an IELTS exam so that there are no surprises on the real exam. And obviously practice wherever possible. If you have friends to sit down and do an interview, I think really helps you to understand the feeling of the interview.
Definitely. So it can be a little bit like the job interview, right?
Yeah.
You know, where you're being assessed based on what you say, and you have to be conscious about what you say. Is there any way for participants or for the candidate to really take the anxiety out of the fact that they have to perform or that they have to live up to certain standards?
I think the way that the test is designed is it doesn't feel like a test or an exam. It feels like a conversation.
Yeah.
So it starts off very, very gentle and very very familiar topics, and it progressively gets more challenging.
Yeah.
But don't think of it as a job interview, but think of it more like a conversation where you're meeting this person for the first time. They know nothing about you, and it's your job just to tell them and explain what you think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Dan,
My
for
pleasure.
all your amazing, amazing tips, always.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And guys, if you're at home, always remember that we are an interactive show. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, to basically voice your questions and also take your videos. Remember that we are a visual show and we are also an interactive show. That's it for this episode, guys. Don't ever forget to join me again next time and follow me throughout the whole season. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Ciao. Hey, I have a dream, and when I was a kid, I wanted to be an adult as fast as I could. But guess what my dream is now? My dream is now basically I want to be an adult, a kid again.
Wow. Let's go back to childhood.